streaming. Let's see if I can get back into the stream I started. Doubt it. Okay, there we go. Live chat. All right, am I on? Okay. Okay, back up. Sorry about that. Not sure how long I'm going to last here. I've been having computer issues all week. It's going to be kind of a disaster for me if this thing dies completely this week, because I got to get book 20 out, book 19, of course. This is another thing that might jam up book 20. Both me and my cover artist Vig Starmax, we're having problems with our computers. It's not a virus. It's just he uses his, like we both do. We beat the hell out of our unit, so to speak, our computers, because we're constantly using them. Vig more for art and me for writing, videos, and everything else. So it's finally dying. My computer's old. It was a gaming unit. I need to get a new one. So we'll see how long I last here. So sorry about that. Let's see if I can get back. See if I can find the link to my thing. There we are. There we go. There we go. Indie Phantom's back. Hey, Indie Phantom. No, that's me. Indie Phantom asks, I thought it's back. I thought my laptop crapped out. No, it's 100% me. I'm having major computer issues. While it lasts. So I don't know if we'll actually get through this entire stream. Let's see what the White House is saying. Donald Trump, it's time for the Senate filibuster to end. Those weak and ineffective Republican senators that stand in the way of this should be exposed to the public. The Democrats are crazy. That is true. I do agree with the sentiment. But I don't want to get into politics yet. We'll do that a little later. Let me just drop the link in Facebook. There we go. Facebook. There you go. So hopefully we can get most of the stream done tonight. If I go dark again, I'm gonna probably bag it. Just to warn you in advance. All right. So let's not waste any more time. Let's see the full chart, the full weekend chart of the numbers. I want to see the full chart. Yeah, there we go. All right. So here is the movies from this weekend. Maybe JEC will come back. I don't know. Project Hail Mary wins again. The #1 movie twice in a row. 54 million. Only dropping 32%. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good for a second week. Everybody's raving. Everybody I know who saw this movie raves about it. So I hear good things. #2 is Hoppers, which is weird. Was 2 last week. 12.2 million. This movie did not look good to me, but what do I know? It's a kid's movie. Some scientist put a kid's brain inside a, I don't know, gopher or something, and she can talk to animals. And then she learns about animals or something like that. I don't know. It looks pretty stupid. It looks like a very girl bossy movie because all the scientists are women. All the characters are women, I think. Except maybe the animals. And then she could talk to the animals, and I don't know, things happen. #3, They Will Kill You. This is Zazie Beetz' movie. 9 million. This looked okay. So this woman answers an ad to be a housekeeper in a mysterious high rise in New York City, not realizing she is entering a community that has seen a number of disappearances over the years and may be under the grip of a satanic cult. Indie Phantom, I have heard mostly good, although some reports say it still has a steep hill to climb to break even. Probably will be by the time it hits POV. Super Mario is coming next. Oh, that's going to be big. Yeah. This movie looks all right. You know, if you could ignore the girl bossing, which didn't appear to be particularly prevalent in the trailer. Indie Phantom, I did hear good reviews of They Will Kill You and comparisons to The Raid in terms of the action. The trailer looked really hot. Let's see. Project Hail Mary's at $300 million worldwide. It has a production budget of $200, so it has a ways to go, but I think you're there, depending on how much they spent on advertising. Now, if they spent another $100K on advertising, this thing needs to do $600. I don't think it's going to make that, but again, I don't think they spent that much money, but it's possible. So, I think this will definitely make 400, because next week it'll do 25, easy, maybe 30. Then you got 10, 12, let's say. So you got, say, like 40, another 5, 45. Definitely hits, it definitely gets close to 400 by the third or fourth week. So I think it's potentially close. Number 4 is Durandar the Revenge, 4.7545 million. This is a Bollywood thing. In its second week, and it's dropped from 3 to 4 in the United States. Indie Phantom, how did they spend so much with one actor, these practical effects, and one location? Good question. I don't know. The moving the little alien rock guy around certainly would have been an issue. They may want this movie to fail, Project Hail Mary, because one of the things that happened was Andy Weir went on the Critical Drinker podcast, and the internet is trying to cancel him for it. Bunch of woke film bros are screaming, I cannot support this movie because he went on the Critical Drinker podcast. Oh, who cares? Honestly. And the Critical Drinker is, he's fine. He's a total caricature. It's not political that I'm aware of. The Critical Drinker isn't political. I don't even know why you would go there on the Critical Drinker other than, he hangs out with the neurotic guys and, podcasts with them and probably Yellow Flash and others. Like, so what? Indie Phantom, Project Fail Mary. Yeah, it's got some cancel pigs after it. And really, it's pathetic now. Like, that kind of canceling is just so pathetic. Are they just straight up hiring these guys? Or at this point, are they so deranged and unhinged? Do they just spontaneously do this now? Because I'll tell you what's going to happen in the not too distant future. They're going to start canceling movies for religious reasons again. Or try to. JC is back. Mundane Matt? He's a nobody. Even when he had an audience, he was a nobody. Indie Phantom, Critical Drinker is on Piers Morgan a lot, so probably lump him in. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like Piers Morgan is a guy. Yeah, there's a guy who's a real MAGA MAGA dude. Piers Morgan. I wouldn't want to associate myself with Piers Morgan. Thank you very much. Some of the stuff I've heard he's done. So I'm not even sure who these people are defending anymore. They just cancel people for no reason, really. So I don't know. I kind of think some of these YouTubers, JC, Pierce is a cuck. Oh, I've heard all that. Yeah. With him and his wife. His wife's pretty hot though. But yeah. Yeah, I've heard those rumors. I mean, some of them don't appear to be rumors, but who knows? But yeah, it's like these film guys canceling people. Like, what is this? 2016? Apparently, they think it is, and I can see that some YouTubers, they just don't care. Somehow they built an audience. Maybe they just bought their audience. I think a lot of guys do now. Been doing this a while, and feels like the audiences are very astroturfed. Indie Phantom, I think it will be a 1-2 punch with this and Super Mario Bros. And he will see if it makes a big change, but Hollywoke probably won't learn anything. Piers is a tool. Guy had a hands in everything. JEC, wife is way out of his league, obviously married to him for his money and is running wild while he's off working. Yeah. I'll show Indie Phantom. I don't know if you've seen Mrs. Piers Morgan. That's her there. Is that the only picture of her? I guess that's her there. Let me see. This is his wife, I think. Indie Phantom, I am making typos because I'm a mile away from my screen typing. LOL. Oh, okay. No worries. So, yeah, that appears to be Piers Morgan's hot wife. Indie Phantom, hot wife issue. Yeah, she's pretty hot, I guess. She doesn't, like, he's super happy in this picture, right? But she doesn't look that happy. She looks like she's kind of tolerating him. So, I don't know. And then she does stuff online that I think kind of is embarrassing for him. I don't know if he's embarrassed by it. He may be into it. The humiliation, maybe a little bit. I don't know. But it is weird. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that at all. To be embarrassed like that in public. Indie Phantom. She is a 7. Yeah. Pierce had a manosphere guy on his show trying to dress him down, and the guy just started calling him a cuck and saying his wife F's black guys and posts about it on Instagram. Does she? That's crazy. I would, man, I couldn't have divorced someone like that fast enough. I mean, I get it. Trophy wife, right? You're rich and you're probably old. So you buy yourself a nice trophy wife, but for her to do that publicly, that's like, I don't know. Women are nuts. Some of them. I was just watching Asmongold's stream, and he was showing this woman who she arrived on a plane and was leaving, and the air marshal for some reason asked her to leave the plane like immediately because she had caused some kind of disturbance, and she was already at her destination, like she was in the correct airport, and she caused such a problem they had to arrest her. It was nuts. But she was way hotter than Pierce's wife, and you could tell she was used to getting her way just by whining enough, and the cops weren't having it, and they ended up arresting her. And Oh, what a tantrum she threw. It went on forever. Indie Phantom. Yeah, Piers left LOL. She posted about needing a pool guy. He was live cucked. Oof. Crazy vid. He walks off his own set. JC. She posts thirsting over pool boy and stuff. Pierce was completely felted and had no response. Man, that's that's awful. That's awful. He should divorce her. Whatever it costs, it'll be worth it. But that's part of the problem with no fault divorce, which I'm sure. I mean, if the United States has that in blue states, I'm sure they have something 10 times worse in England, where he'll be paying her the rest of his life, and she'll be laughing at him. She'll be 1,000 times worse. Like after he divorces her, she'll be banging every dude and posting it on Instagram. Ha ha, ha ha, Pierce. But damn, that's just I kind of can't help feeling a little bad for someone like that because it's kind of pathetic. But whatever, he dug his own situation, I guess. But just like Hollywood has dug its own situation, the fourth movie in the country is Durandar: The Revenge, a Bollywood movie. After that is Reminders of Him, hanging on in fifth place, 4.7 million. Ready or Not 2, dropping from 4 to 6. Here I Come, 4 million. In its second week, dropping 56%. That's kind of not good. Kind of no bueno. JC, Pierce was always a tool. F him. You're tough but fair, JC. Number 7 is Scream 7, dropping from 6, 2.6 million. Hate this movie. Hate this franchise, but it's the biggest Scream movie yet. So get ready for Scream 8. Number 8, dropping from 7, is Goat, 2.2 million. This movie did surprisingly well. It actually hit number 1 at one point. It's done 180 million on 80 million, so that's money. It's money in the bank. I mean, they didn't really spend anything. Well, what would they have spent on advertising? See, it needs to make 160 million to break even, so it's done that, and then another 40 million. Yeah, it's not going to make that, but I don't think they spent 40 million on this thing. Indie Phantom, how do these Bollywood flicks get booked? I mean, are regular studios handling them? They're just getting big. Let's see if we have any answers here. Franchise produced and financing from Geo Studios, B26 Productions. No, it's not really saying. 235 minutes? Jesus, how long is that? An hour? That's almost 4 hours long. Holy F. That's a long ass movie. That's 5 minutes short of 4 hours. It's 3 hours and 55 minutes. Yeah, I'm doing that math right. It's 3 hours and 55 minutes. Jesus. Domestic release by Moviegoers Entertainment. Well, I mean, there is obviously a big enough Indian population here. I mean, it's only in 987 theaters, and yet it's the fourth biggest movie in America. So, let's see. What was it? Moviegoers Entertainment? Here they are. Oh, looks like they distribute Indian movies. Film distribution company dedicated to bring the best of cinema from Indian subcontinent. So that's what they specialize in. Indie Phantom, like, is there a cinema in your Jersey town that shows these Bollywood flicks? All of them are like 4 hours. I have never seen one in any of the theaters near me. We, we have some Hindi guys locally. I've never seen a huge amount of them though. I run into the occasional Indian person. There are a bunch of. We do have some pretty decent Indian restaurants. Most of the staff is Indian. We've got 6 or 7 of them in my area, pretty decent ones. So their whole staff is Indian, but that's you figure like a dozen people or so in a restaurant. Maybe that's a couple of hundred people. Beyond that, I don't know. Not my area anyway. JEC, and people wonder why Indian fatigue is a thing. I don't think there is Indian fatigue. The Indians are cool. I mean, it's less than 5 million. A healthy film market would be 12th on the list. I didn't even think it would be on the list at all. Because, a healthy film market would have movies that would be aimed towards. Joe Meir Hobbs is here. Hi, Joe Meir Hobbs. Welcome to the stream. My computer is on its last leg, so if I suddenly go off the air, you know why. Yeah, I would think that in a healthy film economy, I'll say, that there would be so many American films above it, it would be way down near the bottom, and that would even cut into its gross in terms of the Indian market, because a lot of the Indian people who would go see this movie, I imagine they're at least, if they're not Americanized, they're at least partially Americanized. So if the choice is, well, do we go see Durandar or do we see the latest blockbuster from Hollywood and it was good, there'd be a choice there, and they'd lose some of that. But now it's like Hollywood sucks so much. These theater owners got to be thinking, well, we need to show something that people will see and, that we can count on for money. And if you have a decent population in your town of Hindis, why not? We have a lot of Sikhs, because we have a Sikh temple here. Pretty decent one. Indie Phantom. They do play them here in our local cinema, and like nobody goes, but they usually have one title show up. This is Canada though, so not surprised. JEC, in Canada there is. Yeah, I mean, I would go see. I mean, I saw RRR. If I was going to movie theaters, I would say it. Forbidden Fruit sounds ultra woke. That's because it is. Let's get to that. Number 9 was Undertone, the audio horror movie. That's in its 3rd week. 1.6 million. So Forbidden Fruits is a movie. Diablo Cody is connected to it. So, free Eden employee, Apple, secretly runs a witchy femme cult in the basement of the mall store after hours, with fellow fruits Cherry and Fig. But when new hire Pumpkin challenges their performative sisterhood, the women are forced to face their own poisons or succumb to a bloody fate. So, yeah, Diablo Cody, I believe, is at least partially responsible for this. Let's come over here and to the IMDb. There we go, Forbidden Fruits. Director Meredith Alloway. Writers Lily Houghton and Meredith Alloway. Oh, I thought it was Diablo Cody writing it. Maybe she's a producer? Let's see. No. Maybe it was just based on a stage play of The Woman Came, the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Written by Lily Houghton. Oh, dear God. What a presumptuous kind of... Oh, wait, here are the... Yeah, Diablo Cody. There she is. So she produced this. I thought she would be in it. Indie Phantom, I won't see them because the runtime and they seem quite cheesy. Oh, they're cheesy as hell, the Indian movies. But they're great cheesy. So in RRR, my favorite scene is these two dudes are trying to do a prison escape and they're fighting so many guys. The one says, jump up, he gestures to jump up on his shoulders, right? And he's got two guns. And then the other guy is the runner. And so he's running around punching dudes while the other guy's on top of him shooting dudes. It's like this crazy scene. They end up blowing everything up. And there's a poorly rendered CGI animals. They set them loose. And it's just crazy. It's entertaining, I think. Then for some reason there's a song and dance number right in the middle of the movie, but it kind of works when you watch it. You're watching it going, I don't know why this is happening, but it all seems to flow together. But it goes on and on. And part of the reason I think a lot of the Bollywood movies are so long is because at the end the cast comes out and they all do a dance and sing, and that's like a good 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. And one time I was watching, I forget which movie, and it got super political at the end. like out of nowhere, they started talking about various political parties in India, and I was just like, what the hell am I even watching at this point? It was very strange. But, for something different. Indie Phantom, Diablo Cody, The Kiss of Death. That poster is not it. Oops. Let's get the poster back. Here's the poster here. Forbidden Fruits. Well, at least the chicks are hot. I'll say that. Kinda. Is that Diablo Cody? No, that's Meredith Alloway, I guess. So, JC, Performative Sisterhood. Indie Phantom, Celine Dion is in it. LOL. She's in it? I missed that. Someone called in a favor. Celine Dion? Oh my God, she is in it. Shirley Temple? She's Shirley Temple. What? Wow, that's weird. I thought Celine Dion was so sick she couldn't perform anymore. I thought she was like literally at death's door or incapable of singing, but like she's making a comeback tour? Was it all just a ruse? JEC, they sound exhausting. Yeah, the whole thing sounds exhausting. It sounds like a movie where you would go to a meeting about this movie and you'd be trapped in the meeting while the women talked about how great the movie's going to be. And if you said anything, like, well, that doesn't sound very good, yeah, you'd be out of the meeting. But I don't think any men were allowed in this meeting, so I don't know who this movie's for. Who is this for? First off, malls are done. Like, they're just done. I don't know if this thing takes place in the 80s. It might, but I don't think it does. So, I'm not sure who the movie's for. Because I feel like if you're aiming something at women, women tend to like things that are very current, right? And malls are not a current thing. They're just so over. Malls. People don't go to malls. Like if you're going to a mall, you're like sad and pathetic. And I feel like maybe they think it's aimed at young women, but young women would be completely turned off by that initial concept. And they would look at the movie poster and say, oh, well, who are these bitches? I don't want to see this. Because they don't want to go and attend a movie to support other women. They would rather go to a movie where there's some romance and relationships, some hot guys are in it, and you know, they can fantasize or just get involved with the relationships. I don't think they want to see a movie about relationships between women, generally speaking. But that's just me. JEC, it's not like anyone is even nostalgic for malls. I kind of am, but I have a different nostalgia for malls because I live in New Jersey, and you know, I put them in the Pineys. I had a whole thing in book 16 where there's a sequence where Hemingway steals his mother's car to take his cousins to the mall because he thinks it's going to be cool because the Burlington Mall had just opened when he was that age. And then later in the story, he ends up going back to the same mall as they're tearing it down. So it's sort of like a bookend, and he's much older, of course. And I don't want to give the whole story away, but there's a big payoff at the end of that where he has to do something he hasn't done for a long time at a mall. Indie Phantom, yeah, that poster screams bitches and hoes in a mall. Like, maybe you could sell this to guys if like this was all about hot chicks seducing guys or something, maybe. And then there was like, you know, they turn into monsters, and I don't know. There's a hot chick that some dude has to save, but this is clearly run by women, and I don't think they're, you know, the women running this want that kind of story anymore. The people in Hollywood absolutely will stay away from that story, so they're not going to make anything for men. So this is like hot chicks aimed at women who tend not to like hot chicks because I think they see it as competition. Like, not consciously, but in a very, very base level, I think a lot of women see hot chicks and instantly go, competition, I don't like that girl. JC, they want a romance with a generic lead they can project themselves on and live through the character. Yeah, I think a lot of women enjoy those kinds of movies. Anything about relationships, even if they're not projecting, they like to analyze the relationship if there's a lot of intrigue, and they like to, you know, like, for me, I watch a movie where, like, I don't know, the Terminator goes back in time, and I'm trying to figure out, oh, how's this all gonna sync up back into the future, right? But for women, they're looking at the ins and outs of the relationship, and they're trying to say, well, who are they going to end up with? So I think that's the difference. Indie Phantom, it is R-rated too, but probably just for bitchiness. Yeah, I bet there's not a single topless chick in this whole thing. Again, these are just more movies for no one. No one wants to see this movie. No one wants to go, and certainly no one wants to go to a theater for it. Who the hell's going to a theater for this? When you're talking what was the money on this? Yeah, you're talking a domestic of 1.1 million in 1,500 screens, made under $800 a screen, right? So let's say $800 or 767. What's that divide into? If you divide 14 into that, you basically got 60 people a theater. And that's very low in my view. JEC, they probably cuss like sailors, very ladylike. Probably. But you break this down, 1,525 theaters, you're talking 60 patrons. This is a movie that runs, over a weekend. So it's 3 days. So really, you're talking 20 patrons a showing. That's not, a theater holds 200, 300, depending on the size of the theater. That's not filling up the seats. That's just nothing. The theater's empty. That's 10% maybe. You've got 10% of the theater filled. And you're in 1,525 theaters. So, no one's seeing this. No one's seeing you clowns. Um, you know, so what's the point? Again, I think Hollywood is getting very good at making anti-entertainment. And this is a phrase, I believe I coined it. But the critical drinker is starting to use it too. But, great minds and all. Anti-entertainment is the forefront of Hollywood, I think. Partly because I think again, it all goes back to the Chinese communists are trying their best to destroy Hollywood. And they're using all their machinations. Some of it is just, I would say, straight up bribery. Some of it's probably blackmail. Some of it, though, and a lot of it, I think, is just mental manipulation. They've convinced these people that they're great and that they could do no wrong and that what they're doing is for the good of humanity because it appeals to their ego. So they do these anti-entertainment things because they think, no, I'll be somewhere down the line, someone will acknowledge my greatness and that I change society and that people will look back on my work and say, oh, well, thank God, Forbidden Fruits. Yes, that changed my life. And then I became a great female director and now I make feminist movies all the time and societies are great and Trump died in a prison and everything's great. That's like the idea, I think. It's this weird sort of future projection, even though the reality is you have 20 people in a theater and one showing. A theater that, probably holds 200-300 people. Number 11 is the AI doc or how I became an apocalyptimist. Well, that's kind of interesting. I like that title. Just opened, $650K. The Mummy Returns back in theaters, $600K. Stand By Me, $450K, also back in theaters. It's weird. But underneath that, Wuthering Heights, dropping from 10 to like 15, $300K. But it's only in 223 theaters. JEC, I mean, if the Iran war keeps going the way, they may get their wish. We'll see. I don't know. We'll talk about that later, but I think Trump is on a very tight deadline. He either gets us out of this war and drives gas to nothing, or we're done. We're cooked. I think those are the only two choices. And it's not looking great, I gotta say, because whatever's going on in Iran, I don't think he's going to be... I don't have a whole lot of confidence he's going to be able to wrap it up in 2 weeks. So, maybe in a month? I don't know. The Iranian regime has to surrender for it to work out for him, I think. Or he has to obliterate who's ever's left, and then, the people take over. But if this thing drags on through the summer, we are so cooked. The Democrats are going to definitely take the Senate or the House. If they take both, they will impeach Trump and throw him right out of office. They'll probably impeach J.D. Vance right along with him because they don't care. They absolutely do not care. They will begin prosecuting ICE. They will open the borders. They will do every nightmarish thing that no one wants. And we'll have no one to blame but the voters, who unfortunately are so grossly uninformed, I couldn't even articulate it on a stream. But hopefully, I don't know, it just works out. Trump has pulled miracles before, so I hope he's got one more left in his pocket. I hope by this time, 2 weeks from now, like the Iran war is a distant memory and we're on to the next outrage, whatever it is. But in terms of movies, I don't see any hope in the near future for movies to turn it around. The purchase of Warner Brothers by Skydance and Paramount looked good from a distance, but as the details start rolling in, it doesn't look good. Like, the best you could possibly hope for is maybe they're going to bring back Zack Snyder to do the Justice League and DC Comics again, which I don't think is going to be very good, but it might not be woke. They're still going to run the second season of Starfleet Academy for some insane reason. And it doesn't look good when they're hiring Stephen Colbert to write Lord of the Rings sequels. It really doesn't. But that may be too far in the pipeline for them to stop right away, so maybe give it another month and things will turn around. Indie Phantom, hopefully things turn around. Yeah, I'm hopeful. JC, there's 90 million Iranians. They got a 1 million man army, and they're talking about trying to invade with 30,000 people. Well, the thing is, since we're getting into Iran, the vast majority of Iranians don't like the regime. They just don't like them. And so, but the problem is they don't have any weapons. So, if you could take out their oppressors, then hopefully you could install, a different kind of army, and then maybe some of the army would flip too. And what they really need is a general to turn things around and say, okay, I don't like the regime, and I am willing to go against the regime to save my ass and my country. And then the United States says, okay, Iranian general, you're in charge now. Get the rest of these a-holes in line, and then, then it's their problem. But I don't know. Indie Phantom, I have faith. So weird seeing their desperation with some of these re-releases, which are not really making a dent. Yeah, I think they're long overdue. If they had done this years ago, maybe. Indie Phantom, even Avatar couldn't quite cut it this time. I think what they needed to do is create a different movie experience. So, if I could go into my movie theater and know that one or two of the screens, because most of the theaters near me have like a dozen screens. So, when you look at this list of movies, you get down past number 10, it's like, what the hell are we even watching here? So, you might as well take two screens and just rotate a bunch of classic movies. So, I'd be willing to go to the theaters if, for instance, they showed something I really, really wanted to see on the big screen again. Like, I don't know, for me it would be like Repo Man. I love Repo Man. If they threw like, oh, we're having $5 movie night on Wednesday night, and here are all the movies we're going to be playing in the next 2 weeks, and then one of them was Repo Man, I might pop over there and blow a few bucks. But it's too expensive. They just aren't doing this. Sure, okay, you run The Mummy. Did anybody even know you were running? I didn't even know you were running The Mummy again. It's good you're doing it. It's on a lot of screens, but you got to tell people. I don't know. Who the hell is checking in with their local theater anymore? No one. This is a huge, huge, huge problem. Back in the day, I used to check in with the movie theater all the time because movies were in the zeitgeist. Now, I just don't even care. I don't go at Fandango. If you've ever been to that website, I hate it. Everything in movies is so, it's just so designed to extract so much money out of you. And so there's just ads everywhere on the website, and I don't want to be a member. I don't want to make a profile on your website. I just want to go to the site and hear about the movies you're playing. That's it. That's all I want. Maybe I click on a thing and watch the trailer, but I don't want advertising. And that's all movies are now. You go to the movies and it's ads. What the hell movie did I come to see? I've been here a half hour. I don't even know what movie. I'm numb watching ads and previews, and now I wish I had just stayed home and watched it. And even at home watching it. You watch a movie on Amazon now, and there are commercials. Unless you pay the $20, Like I pay the $20, I still see a friggin' commercial on the top of it. It's friggin' annoying. Even Avatar couldn't quite cut it this time. I read that. JEC. They hate Israel and America more because they're the ones bombing them. Well, but like the Persians do not want to be ruled by the mullahs, is my understanding. Razorfist was doing some his live stream this week. He was talking a little bit about that. I think he dated an Iranian girl, and he knows people in Iran, and he was going to have a guest on his stream, but that guest kind of got poached by a bigger. I think he was going to end up on Fox talking about the real deal in Iran now, but this could be propaganda. I don't know. There have been calls to overthrow the Iranian regime for years and years and years now. I don't know what to believe anymore. I honestly don't. The regime is bad, number one. We know that. Can we possibly overthrow it with something better? I don't know. It sort of didn't go well in Iraq. You could look back on it now and say, well, Iraq's not a threat to us anymore. They kind of weren't. They were kind of on our payroll. And then we started attacking them after they got a little too big for their britches because they started attacking their neighbors, and that kind of messed us up. One rumor said that Saddam Hussein was going to start his own, currency exchange where he could potentially sell his oil for something other than dollars. And we are operating on the petrodollar these days. And we have a deal with Saudi Arabia and a lot of other countries that they will only take US dollars for their oil. Meaning that even other countries have to go take their money, convert it into dollars, and then go buy their oil from Saudi Arabia at least. So, while it was kind of a genius move in the short term back in the 70s, now it seems to have screwed us in some respects. I don't, can the Iranians be brought to heel so we start getting their oil? I don't know. Sounds like it's going to be a long process. JC, I did see Repo Man on the big screen years ago. Indie Phantom. Repo Man is still on my watch list. Oh, it's a good movie. Yeah, I used to go to the movies every week up until the late 90s. When did I stop going? I actually moved into this house in 2009. Mainly, part of my reasoning was a friend of mine lives in the same neighborhood, but I also wanted to be near my favorite movie theater. But almost immediately, starting in 2010, I went to fewer movies. So my slide off from movies started really in 2010. And kind of peaked, I don't know, a few months ago, the last time I went to see a movie, which was such an awful experience. JC, I mean, that sounds like a cope when you got bombs falling on you. What choice do you have other than to rally around the flag at home? Yeah, but they're not rallying around the mullahs, and they run the country. And the precision bombing has mostly not hurt any civilians. The mullahs, however, allegedly have killed like 30,000 protesters. So if you're going to pick and choose, you're going to pick, well, yeah, I don't like being bombed, but these mullahs just killed 30,000 of us, so. JC, I used to go to the movies all the time with my ex, easy date night, so I haven't been going since 2016-ish. Yeah, and by 2016, the movies were really starting to, 2010, it wasn't too bad. There were a handful of movies I did want to go see and would go see. Some of that was just the result of me running out of money and being unable to go to movies most of the time. But That's about when I started running out of money, I think. It was about 2010. Um, but it came back a little bit for me before the certain disaster with a certain medical procedure, because I was a bit flush back in those days. JC, 2016 is when everything got insufferable. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really go to movies because I didn't really have anybody to go with in 2016. 2017, 18, that era. What else is here? Avatar, Fire and Ass, 175K. It's been in theaters for 101 days. Holy F. New movie called Alpha is out in 218 theaters. I think I saw... Did I see a trailer for this or not? I don't remember. Oh, wait. I don't know what this is. I have to go to Box Office Mojo for the weekend. Okay, where's Alpha? There it is. Alpha, a troubled 13-year-old lives with her single mom. Their world collapses the day she returns from school with a tattoo on her arm. No idea what that's about. So, oh, now the numbers goes down on me. All right, screw you. We'll just stay on this page. Indie Phantom. Now there are usually fewer than 2 flicks I want to see each year. Right now I want to see Adventure of Cliff Booth. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that movie. That's a movie, though, I can kind of wait for. I don't think it's going to be great, but it should be fun and entertaining. Indie Phantom, that sounds lame. Yeah, it does sound lame. Epic, Elvis Presley in concert, 115K. Mark by Sophia, 100K. Palestine, 36, 93K. New, Jimmy O. Yang, Finally Home? What the heck is that? Is that a stand-up comedy thing? I think maybe it is. To Box Office Mojo. Follows comedian Jimmy O. Yang as he returns to his hometown of Hong Kong after 25 years, talking about family fighting for the bill and his immigrant experience in a blend of English and Cantonese. Well, that doesn't sound great at all. Who the hell is this for? I guess the Chinese audience. All right, I have to stop trying to go off page on the numbers. It's just not working. God damn it. There we go. JC, Elvis concert movie would be fun. Well, it's there. Send Help, 80K. Out of theaters very soon. A Magnificent Life. That's a new one. 76K. It follows the life of Pangnal, a playwright, novelist, and filmmaker who grew up in a middle-class household in Marseille and became one of the world's most inventive and prolific artists from the 1930s to the 1950s. Okay. Sounds interesting. Zootopia 2. Made 40K. Pillion, gay biker movie, made 39K. Fantasy Life, another new movie. An actress, Amanda Peet, falls for the anxious law student dropout, Matthew Shear, babysitting her kids in this smart New York set romantic comedy. Okay. See, this feels like a movie that was made by New Yorkers for New Yorkers, but there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. I think it just has very limited audience potential. JC, was the Playwright movie animated? Let's see. Can't really tell. Let's go to the IMDb. Yes, it looks... Yeah, it is animated. I like the animation. That looks pretty cool. What else we got here? Our hero Balthazar. I saw the trailer for this. $33K. Follows a wealthy New York City teenager who, eager to impress his activist crush, follows an online connection to Texas where he believes he can stop an act of extreme violence. It's very strange. Toe, $32K. Mirrors, number 3, $30K. Marty Supreme still hanging around, $13K. Two Prosecutors, $12.5K. The 2026 Oscar-nominated short films, $9K. That's something I wouldn't mind seeing. Sometimes those are good. JEC, looks like a French animated movie. I think so. How to Make a Killing, $8K. The President's Cake, $7.4K. Continental 25. In the capital of Transylvania. Holy cow, look at that name. Kolj Napoka Orslov serves as a bailiff. She has to evict a homeless guy from a cellar one day, which has disastrous results and sets off a moral problem that Orsolya must try to resolve. That sounds like very much a foreign film. That sounds like the kind of art house film I would like. It's a very small story. It feels kind of like a play. I would see this. It sounds kind of cool. The Moment, $5.5K. Natchez, $4.2K. John Lilly and the Earth Coincidence Control Office. Okay, what the hell is this? A visionary neuroscientist explores the limits of consciousness through isolation tanks, communication with dolphins, and psychedelic experiments, transforming himself from researcher to mythical explorer? Is this a real thing? Let's see. No, I don't want that. I want there it is. Okay, so he's a real guy. Feels like more of a documentary, but maybe. And then finally, what was on the bottom here? Obex, which somehow is still in one theater somewhere. All right, that's a weekend of $95,869,061 dollaroonies. And are we still on? Yeah. Half of that came from Project Hail Mary. And really, if you take the top 10 movies, that's most of the gross. That's like, let's say, 1, 2, 4, 6, 10, 14, 18, 23, 35, plus that is going to be 89, say 90 out of 95 million is all in the top 10. The rest is just chump change. Indie Phantom. Yeah, some really small distribution companies in there. There's not enough of them. There's not enough movies on this list. That's why these movie theaters, okay, studios, you have it all locked down, but nobody wants to see movies anymore because they're uninteresting. You need to do something. You need to open up the doors to other distribution. Just take your cut and just dole out some other movies. If you have a cut of it, what's the difference? Who cares? If some indie filmmaker makes an amazing movie that everybody wants to see and you have a cut of it, okay, maybe the Iron Lung guy made too much money and you're a little worried. Oh, he won't take our money and won't make our movies. Oh, no, he's going to make his own movies. Who cares? You got a cut of the money. You would have had to. Indie Phantom. Pillion was some gay biker thing. Yes, it is. Ready or Not 2 didn't really do much. No, that movie is fine, I guess. It just looks like something that nobody would see in a theater anymore. That definitely strikes me as, oh yeah, I'll go watch that on Amazon or whatever later. JC, streaming services are eating up a lot of the air in the room, pumping out stuff that would have been in theaters. I don't understand why you can't do both, though. Um, you know, you can do both. Driving everybody to the platforms, where does that end? Okay. Eventually, I mean, the technology is such that everybody I know is, they've got some device. Oh, yeah, I watch everything. Like, what do you mean you watch everything? Oh, I got this, like, device. They call it a blah, blah, blah. And I just watch any movie I want. Or some of my relatives, they just have money and they don't care. They just blow money on every friggin' platform and they just have them all. But they'll share the password with anybody, so everybody's watching it. So, the streaming services was nice in theory, but in reality, all they're doing is they're decentralizing movies to the point at which eventually no one's going to watch any streaming. No streaming platforms are going to be worthless. They're already worthless to me. I won't pay for them unless you got something really good, and I'll pay you a one-time fee. It's all going to be. I mean, you look at Louis C.K., right? Louis got way ahead of the curve. What did he do? Well, after he got, his whole deal got trashed, he started doing stand-up again, and he's got an email list, and he just emailed. I'm on his list. He just emails when he has a Madison Square Garden show or this show or that show. He says, hey, this is Louis. I have a new show. He works up some material. He works it for a few months or, I don't know, a year or whatever. And when he feels it's ready, he does a comedy special. It's $5. He sends you an email. You get the link. You pay the $5. I mean, it's not even worth pirating. For $5? Why would I even bother to pirate it? If I want to watch Louis, I'll pay the $5. I have. I've watched his stand-up specials. $5 is a good deal. What am I gonna pay $26.99 for the comedians on Netflix? No thanks. If Louis, I already like Louis, so I'll pay $5 for him. There's a couple other comedians maybe I'd pay that price for, but that's a great price. You can't beat that. Even if we went to 10, I'd be like, okay. JC, yes, I would have a 2-week run in theater and use it as advertising tool. Yeah, that's one avenue. The way I would do it is this. First off, theaters need something that streaming doesn't have. So here's what I would do. I would, and I just came up with this, I really want to see a return to the cartoons coming back to theaters. So here's what I would do if I was a movie studio. I'd do what studios have done time and time again, is I'd do a contest. And the contest would be, do an animated short. Here's the time. It can only be, 3 minutes, let's say. You do that animated short. It has to be for movie theater. It has to have certain parameters so we can broadcast it or whatever. And the winners get a ridiculous amount of money for them. Right? I don't know. You say the top winner gets $100K and the other winners get $50K. It's a complete buyout. We get the rights and we get to blast it in our theaters. Right? So then you play the cartoon while people are coming in. And you only play it in the theaters. You don't play it on your platform or whatever. And then at the bottom, you could have advertising. The advertising that you keep annoying us with. Right? You could have, go into the... you still have time to get a Coke. Or get some popcorn, only $2.99 or whatever. And then you could still run commercials. People could come and be entertained. Kids would like it. Everybody would like it. You could have weird cartoons. And then the previews come on. The advertising goes away. And voila. You've got something to offer that nobody else has. Will they do that? No. We require them to pay creators money. But they should, because one of those cartoons will be a runaway hit that they could then turn around to the creator and say, hey, we like this cartoon. Can you make more? We'll give you money. Now we want to do a TV show, or we want to do a movie, or whatever. Something like that. I mean, try to do something. Indie Phantom, there was some new Vince Vaughn comedy action thing people were talking about. I might check it out soon. You may be talking about, what is it called? Nick, Alice, Nick, and Mike, or something like that, where Vince Vaughn is in it twice, because the premise is he goes back in time. He's a gangster that goes back in time to stop himself from making a huge mistake. And what's the name? Marsden plays his sidekick, his buddy, who's having an affair with his girl. That might be it. JEC, if you're a legit fan of someone, you're happy to throw them $5 every year or so. Yeah. JC, very limited run, only a few theaters. Oh, sorry, I got something in my eye. There we go. Very limited run with only a few theaters. You need to book a seat and try to drive some sense of FOMO if you miss it. Oh, well, it's on a streaming service. Check it out there. That's a point. Sure, you could do it that way. Indie Phantom, yeah, that was it. Streaming movie. But something needs to be done. Something needs to be done to bring people back to movies. But mostly, you need to make better movies. And I will say this for Ryan Gosling. He has said in several different interviews, he says things like, it's not the fault of the fans that movie theaters are failing. And he's right. It's not their fault at all. How could it be their fault? They don't make the damn movies. They don't run the damn theaters. It's the fault of the greedy corporations who squeeze every friggin' dollar and give almost nothing back. And when they do give something back, it's a very temporary situation. As soon as the next accounting regime gets ensconced, they immediately look at the books and go, why are we spending so much money on this? Oh, people love it. Oh, well, yeah, but we could cut back 20%. Let's just cut back. And that's typically a corporate mindset. So it's like when you go into a brand new supermarket, and at first they give you samples, and oh man, they give you great prices on a bunch of things, and the store looks great, and there's so many staff members, and all your questions are answered, and you get carted out on a litter to your car with your groceries, and you start shopping there. And then a few months go by, and then they don't have as many people, and they cut back on the samples, look smaller, and they're not always there. And then a few more months go by. Now there are no samples. It's just a regular supermarket, and they just keep cutting and cutting and cutting. So that's kind of the corporate way. But you can't do that with movies. You keep cutting back and cutting back. I mean, they are comparing the Harry Potter TV show to the Harry Potter movies, right? In terms of just the look. And the looks from 30 years ago look better than what they're putting out, apparently, for the Harry Potter, the new Harry Potter. Like, the look of it isn't good. They're cheaping out. Now, to some extent, that's a TV show. It's a little cheaper. They're not going to spend that kind of money. But we're talking Harry Potter here. It's not like they're not going to make gazillions of dollars on it. There's no reason to cheap out on it, except that fans will come anyway. But when you cheap out on it enough, or too much, fans go, oh, I like the old stuff better, screw this. That's bad, because then it starts to die, and then what's the next move? Well, the next move is, all right, we're in a panic. We have to get people to watch Harry Potter, so we have to offer them something. So either we need some guest stars or something to draw people in. We need to advertise something or do something crazy, which means they'll probably ignore the books to do something crazy like, I don't know, kill off one of the major characters that didn't die in the books or something stupid like that. So, whereas if you had just spent the money and made, Harry Potter look nice and have the right feel and follow the books, which was the whole point of doing the TV show, allegedly, when they announced it, you wouldn't even have this issue. Because once you start a TV show, it's very difficult to convince people, oh, by the way, we improved our TV show, come watch it now. The only way that can happen is by word of mouth. Like, word of mouth drove Breaking Bad. Like, people were just like, oh man, you got to see this show. But Harry Potter's not the kind of thing that could be driven by word of mouth. The people either saw it or they didn't. They know it or they didn't. The moment, it already had a high bar. The moment it doesn't reach that bar, people are like, oh yeah, I heard the new Harry Potter sucks. I'll go watch the movies. Good luck getting people to watch the TV show then. Good luck. You're screwed. And that's the problem with movies in general. I mean, it's just, forget it. Indie Phantom also noticed none of the Oscar movies are even still in cinemas. Years ago, the winners would be back making money for weeks. I remember seeing Leaving Las Vegas in a packed cinema 3 weeks after Cage won. Boom. Very true. Very true. Yeah, one battle after another lost money. What the hell why even nominate it for an Oscar if it lost money? If it lost money, that's a clear sign. People didn't like it. Or you spent too much money on it. I mean, it could be that. They do spend too much money on movies, but this movie was not popular. But for the studio class, I guess you could call them, they love it. It's all about communism. It's all about politics. It's all about revolution. This is why I say, from the outside looking in, the Communist Party of China is pushing things. And they did their damnedest to say to everybody in Hollywood, this is the movie that should win. Why? Because it's communist. It makes it look like, oh, people really love communism. They really want communism in the United States. They really want socialism. Oh, but, Trump's in office. We can't have it. Oh, we really need a revolution. We do. These people are retards. The only thing, part of the problem is movies just aren't the zeitgeist anymore, so good luck. I mean, you could proselytize all you want in a movie, but most people just aren't going to see it in general. But if it sucks, it sucks. But one battle after another never should have even been nominated. Never should have been nominated. We've had years where, some movies got nominated and there were so many good movies out. You couldn't even nominate all the movies that probably should have been nominated. Now we have years where there's no movies. I mean, Sinners was like the closest thing to a good movie last year. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Most of it. But it wasn't great. Like, if you had put that up against a different year of movies, I would have been like, nah, you can leave Sinners off that list. It was okay, but it was a little long. It had a really bad scene in the middle of it. It wasn't great. It was good, but it wasn't great. So, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing anymore with these movies. Let's see if we can read the tea leaves in the trades. Project Hail Mary flies high with $54.5 million. Okay. What are you going to do? Make Ryan Gosling do every one of your movies? You need to do something. I think the reason this movie did well is because, number one, you have a good writer on it. That's number one. And Ryan Gosling is the kind of guy who looks at the story and says, I want to be a part of this. I think. He seems to be, more than a lot of actors, into the filmmaking aspect of it. Now, like, I didn't see La La Land. I know I wouldn't even like it, but I could see that being a choice. A good choice for a movie. But, like this movie, I haven't seen it, but it's clear it's got the elements of, a satisfying narrative. Humanity's at stake. Ryan Gosling teams up with a cute little alien, and they save humanity. That sounds like fun. And if you can write it well, then you're good to go. But so many of these other movies, like One Battle After Another, are just chock full of politics nobody asked for. And it wasn't even the politics of the book it was based on. It was politics from the 80s, from the sort of revolutionary leftist perspective, but it was supplanted 40 years into the future. JC, La La Land was kind of mid, honestly. It had its moments. I didn't see it, but it looked entertaining enough. People singing and dancing at least. At least they're trying to entertain people. James Tolkien, Top Gun and Back to the Future actor, dies at 94. You remember him? He was the principal with the bow tie in Back to the Future. McFly! That guy. I don't remember him in Top Gun, but I'm sure he was an angry military guy. Man, 94 is a pretty good run. Nick Cannon calls the Democratic Party the party of the KKK and says, I F with Trump. I still don't quite understand what he means by I F with Trump. JEC, there wasn't even that much singing in it. Okay. It looked fun, though. Well, it's not my kind of movie. And, Emma Stone was still kind of hot. Do either one of you guys know what it means when he says, I F with Trump? I don't understand what he's saying. I think he's being positive towards Trump, but I can't figure out how. I F with Trump. Does that mean he teases Trump? I don't get it. JC, he means it in a positive way. I think so, but I can't, I don't understand why he said it that way. Netflix loses first round in battle against EU rules requiring streamers to fund productions in Belgium. Whoa. The EU is requiring you to fund productions in Belgium? That's nuts. Go F yourself, EU. The EU was such a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. Indie Phantom, yeah, Tolkien was the dude who sends Maverick to Top Gun. Oh. I think he means rocks with Trump. Oh. I have heard that used in this way lately. JC, he's F's with him. He wouldn't F with him if he didn't like him. Okay, I think I get what you're saying. It just sounds weird to me. Indie Phantom, EU is EU. Mary Beth Hurt dies at 79. Oh, that's a shame. Oh my God, she died of Alzheimer's. Oh, that's a rough way to go. Not a good way to go. Not that you would remember it, but... Kim Novak says Sydney Sweeney is totally wrong to play me in an upcoming film about romance with Sammy Davis Jr. I would never have approved. Well, okay. I don't know what to tell you. She's hot. You were hot back in the day. I mean, they're just hiring the hottest actress. I mean, at least Sydney Sweeney will be hot in it, as opposed to casting her as a female boxer. JC, it's how the young people talk. Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that, JC. Hello, my fellow kids. Let's see, what else? BTS Arirang debuts at #1 album with biggest sales of the week for a group in over a decade. People really love this Korean pop stuff, BTS. I have not heard a single song. HBO boss Casey Bloys says Harry Potter Season 2 is being written now. Our goal is not to have a huge gap. It's amazing. TV is so not, the current thing. And yet now, unlike in the past, they would have a hit show, and sometimes the people who worked on that hit show wouldn't know if they were coming back for another season. Now they launch a new show, and already before the first episode even hits, they've already renewed it for a second season and have started it in the pipeline. Like, this is why we're going to get a second season, I think, of Starfleet Academy. JC, pretty sure Sweeney's fans aren't interested in a movie about her in an interracial relationship. She's going to be in some hot outfits, I think. Hot, like, vintage outfits. I don't think a lot of people care. I don't think you're going to see a lot of sex scenes. I think you're just going to see her in a lot of cute outfits. JEC, BTS haven't been around because they've had to do their mandatory military service. So it's their big comeback. Oh. All right, what else we got? Donald Glover campaigned to voice Yoshi in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, says Jack Black. He loves that universe. Okay. Spanish queer drama Mas Palomas wins top prize at Sonoma Film Festival as Steven Soderbergh's The Christophers takes audience awards. Woke continues to churn ahead, everybody. Man, look at the low-cut top on this chick. The pit star, I can't even pronounce that. Sepida Mofi says her first agent wanted me to change my name. I immediately said, F no. Let me instead show you my goods. Damn, that's a low-cut thing. JC, they film what used to be one season worth of episodes, 20 episodes, all at once and split into 2 seasons as a marketing device. Well, that seems no bueno. Happy Death Day star Jessica Roth says director Christopher Landon has third installment figured out at this point. It's just logistics. Okay. James Blake asked for his production credit on Kanye West Bullied to be removed. I think it's too late for that. JEC, people are more likely to binge 10 episodes at once than they are to binge 20 at all in one go. True. Over at Fandom Pulse. The surprised Biostellar novel is a testament to real science fiction, if you're interested in that. Project Hail Mary author Andy Weir blasts Kurtzman's Star Trek, reveals Paramount rejected his pitch. Razorfist just posted something earlier about a pitch Scott Bakula and another executive had for a sequel to the Enterprise show, which I didn't think was great. I didn't watch it. I bailed. I watched the first episode and I said, I can't watch this show. It sucks. But the premise was Scott Bakula becomes the president of Earth, and it was going to be like a political thriller set in the early days of the Federation. I don't know. I guess that could have been good. It definitely would have been better than Starfleet Academy or whatever Kurtzman did. Seems like they should have went with that, because Scott Bakula was at least, a big enough name. People would follow him. Did William Shatner actually endorse Starfleet Academy? The media is not telling you the full story. Well, his Twitter did, and yeah, he doesn't run his Twitter, but so what? Do you think he doesn't tell the guy what to type? Do you think he doesn't give him the broad strokes? I'm sure he did. Whatever he said, he said. Who cares? He's William Shatner. He's the greatest. Just leave him alone. I don't know why you're going to do this contortion. He's not going to go to bat against Kurtzman track. There's just no reason for him to do this. He's 95. He's not going to fight them. Batman writer Tom Taylor agitates fans with feminist grandstanding and gets chastised by Chuck Nixon. Tourist writing isn't canon. Oh yeah, this was really woke-tarded. Kanye's new album, says JEC, isn't terrible, which is a nice surprise at this stage of his career. Not the best thing he ever did, but not horrible like his last two albums. They probably asked him to shout out the new show, and he didn't care. Maybe. But this was Batman writer Tom Taylor having Batman get beaten up by, or lose a boxing match to Black Canary. At this point, what, again, more anti-entertainment, this time from DC. It's just woke anti-entertainment. It's like they sit around all day and say, what could we do to agitate the fans so they start talking about us again? Because no one buys our comics, obviously. This is my imagination at work here. I know. Let's have Batman lose a boxing match to Black Canary. Yeah, Batman, the world's greatest martial artist. A guy who's, gone toe-to-toe with ninjas. Yeah, he'd probably lose a boxing match to some blonde chick who fights crimes on the weekend with her boyfriend, Green Arrow. But sure, do what you want to do, DC. I mean, you want to run that sucker into the ground? You run it into the ground. Who cares? At this point, who cares? Just stop giving these people your money and see how fast they turn the boat around. Indie Phantom, how do these comic shops keep going at this point? I know. I expect one day my last local shop will finally have to pack it in, and they have a nice staff. Yeah, I mean, the ones near me, the one I used to go to just to hang out in sometimes, that closed. The one I used to work in, that closed a long time ago. Where else is there left? There's the guy who I did signings for. He let me do signings for the Pineys there. He's got a nice little store. He's still hanging on. I don't know how. I think he sells a lot online. He does what he needs to survive, I think. JEC, also Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon cards. That always helps. JEC at Indie Phantom. Absolute Batman is doing well, actually. Relatively speaking. I mean, you're talking like Absolute Batman, sure, it's selling. Compared to everything else. Let's see. Sales of Absolute Batman single issues. The first 14 issues of Absolute Batman sold about 3 million copies as of late 2025. So, issue number 1 sold just under 400K. Ongoing sales, number 15 had 300K. But, that's not readers. Indie Phantom, Batman does seem to do okay, JEC. At JEC, Florida Hippopotamus Cocaine Massacre is getting a third printing. Congratulations. Indie, our store sells a lot of old stuff for a quarter. Yeah, I don't think Absolute Batman. I mean, look, it's another let's hit the reset button and do Batman again. They're doing that with all sorts of characters in the DC universe. They're doing it with Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman. They did it with Martian Manhunter, whatever. But when you order 400,000 copies, you know what that means. If I'm a store that sells, let's say I have 30 Batman fans in my store, I order 50 copies. I order 30 for my regulars, and I order 20 for the shelves. Maybe more, depending on how much I think it's going to sell. Now, I have a friend who runs a store. If he has, 10 Batman fans, he orders 11. He only orders 1 for the shelf. He is absolutely 100% consistent with that. He never orders more. He'll order exactly what his subscriber base wants, and then he orders one for the shelf every single time. And he never has anything left over, ever. So you got to be a subscriber to walk into his store to get anything, really. And he does okay. He does okay. He survives because he doesn't waste his money on a lot of things that don't sell. You know. JC, 3 million copies is 3 million copies. The Absolute books are doing well. Yeah, 3 million over 15 issues, but you know, again, it's how many millions of them are still sitting in a box somewhere. We all know people buy number ones, right? I sold tons of number ones. People can't, you know, when I was doing Jersey Devil number one, people would buy like 10 copies. Oh, why are you buying 10 copies? Why, you know? Oh no, I'm gonna put away 9 of them. So yeah, I mean, and it's also, even if you got in at like 5, you're gonna be like, oh, I'll go back and I'll get 1 to 4, and then I'll buy the rest, and I'll have a run, and blah 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 blah. But you know, this has an end, and the end is this storyline doesn't matter, and it all goes away, and whatever value these comics have disappears the moment that happens. Give it another 2 years, maybe, and all the Absolute stuff will just poof, poof. And where will all the readers go? Well, there are hardly any readers in that mix, I would argue. And that's the problem with comics. Most people aren't buying them for the comic or the story. They're just buying it because, oh man, look at this cool cover. Oh man, it's Absolute Batman. Whatever. I don't think they're reading the story. I don't think they care. It's all about the cover. I mean, it's happened a million times, so whatever. But you can't build an entire company on just Absolute Batman. I don't think so. But they don't care about, again, they don't care about the line anymore, is what I've heard. They haven't cared about making money at DC Comics for a long time, is what I heard. And Marvel, too. They're so insulated from the monetary decision-making. You know, it's not even the money they're worried about. They like that a lot of copies are being sold because a lot of people are talking about it. It's more about that than it is the actual money. And these comics are like, I think they're like $4.99 at least. Man, that's an expensive comic in my view, but all right, what else we got? Hollywood Reporter. For you, me, and Tuscany, the location did half the work. Well, it looks nice, I guess. Rob Schneider urges the U.S. to restore the military draft amid ongoing Iran war. No, Rob. Let's not do that. Being a citizen of the United States gives us unparalleled freedoms and opportunities that are the envy of the world. However, those freedoms that we cherish do not come without a cost. Dude, were you a vet? I mean, he's never served in the military. Yeah, I don't think you should be saying this, dude. Is it a joke? I don't think so. He wrote on X, "We must once again recommit ourselves to one nation under God, indivisible. Therefore, we must restore the military draft for our nation's young people." No. No, conscription is slavery, dude. I am not for slavery in any form. I don't think it'll help either. You're gonna draft some of these woke Gen Zers into the military and have them argue with the staff sergeant about his pronouns. I don't think that's gonna do anybody any good. There's not a problem with recruitment. No, not since Hegseth got in. People are like, oh yeah, sign me up, because they're actually doing stuff in the military now. They're actually like accomplishing things. I mean, give it another 2 weeks. If we're in World War III, they might not be so gung ho, but I don't think drafting people is a good idea at all. It really, when we had the draft, you had people in the Army who didn't want to be there, and they would do anything they could not to do certain things, and that would create an atmosphere where there was behavior that was contrary to the Army. But if you're a volunteer and you want to be in the Army, well, you're not going to have nearly as many problems with your recruits, because they volunteered to be there. They want to be there. And if you have plenty of recruits, even if somebody gets in and says, oh, I really made a mistake here, I mean, you might even be able to cut them loose. There are circumstances where that happens. But yeah, you want a professional Army, and professionals volunteer. AI opens up a new way to restore classic movies. Should we take it? Sure. If they're not changing the movie and they're just restoring it, why not? AMC cancels Talamasca, The Secret Order, after 1 season. Man, none of those spin-off shows of the vampires seem to work out. Ryan Reynolds and Jason Momoa's Animal Friends moves release date to early 2027. Project Hail Mary author Andy Weir says Paramount rejected his Star Trek pitch. Their shows are S. The Mummy star John Hannah is returning as Rachel Weisz's brother, if you remember him from the Mummy movies. So it looks like, I think they got the entire cast back, or at least the important ones. Anybody die from that cast? I don't think so. Sony announced price changes for PS5, PS5 Pro, and PlayStation. I think this is just getting more expensive, but whatever. Everything's going up in price. Crimson Desert sold 3 million as Pearl Abyss shares jump. Asmongold is playing this game. He loves it. It doesn't look awful. It looks fine to me. It looks way too involved for me. Like Red Dead. I still have Red Dead Redemption over there that I still haven't cracked open. One of these days, possibly when I retire, I'll be like, leave me alone. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption and I'm trying to learn how to cook my beans. Oh, here's the No Kings thing. Robert De Niro, Jane Fonda, Bruce Springsteen, and more figures attends No Kings 3.0 protest nationwide. Yeah, that's quite a list of scholars you have there. Hanoi Jane, Robert De Niro, unhinged Robert De Niro in his 80s, and Bruce Springsteen, blue-collar billionaire? Is he a billionaire now? He's at least a millionaire. No, thank you. SNL UK loses 9% of audience, but still beats rival networks. So, once again, to all our friends in the UK, I am very sorry we have exported SNL to you. It wasn't my intent at all. I had I known, I would have signed a petition or something, sent an email to our government to maybe do something about this. We're tied up in a lot of stuff, but perhaps your dark days will be behind you soon. I can only hope. Those of you who watch SNL UK, I'm very, very sorry. On behalf of the United States, I'm very, very, very sorry. Well, at least you Canucks, at least that's one thing you don't have to worry about. Hopefully. CBS cancels DMV and Watson. Okay. So they're gone if you watch those shows. Joe Nesbo steps into the driver's seat for Netflix Detective Hole. It's been an emotional roller coaster. Anybody watching this show? It's supposed to be a big deal. Oh, Jesse's here. Beans? I love beans. Oh, you should try making them in a video game. They're delicious, I hear. Alex Young dies. Comedian and Blue Bloods actor was 42. Oh, no. What's up, Joan? I hear you moaning over here. Come on, you can sit on my lap. There you go. Ooh, look, Joan. Chris Pratt altered Mario's Mamma Mia catchphrase for movies. I've always tried to vary. I don't think you should do that when it comes to Mario. Mamma Mia is what we want to hear from that Italian stereotype. You Metagon. What else? Durandar sequel sets North America record. Forbidden Fruits cracks top 10. Specialty box office. All right. You all right, Joan? You seem a little shaky. What's going on? Is your haircut not agreeing with you? I know, you're very cold. All right, let's see what else is going on. Bleeding Fool. Disney's $1 billion AI deal with OpenAI craters as Sora 2 shuts down. Okay. Not sure what happened there. Oh, this was big this week. Vince Vaughn was on a podcast and said late night shows feel like lectures. So, yeah, I mean, he's right. A little late, but he's right. Seems like the tide is really turning against some of these things, but I don't see the studios making the moves yet. Maybe they've got stuff in the pipeline that is way less woke down the road, but man, it can't happen fast enough. Mark Norman's Netflix fight over Muslim jokes. All right. Claims one of the executives called Muslims dangerous people. A remark he said came up during talks about a stand-up special on the platform. The company now says the story never happened, as described. Okay. Netflix executives asked Norman to remove a joke about Muslims due to safety concerns. He said one of them told him the company had previously received bomb and death threats after another comic made similar jokes. First off, at this point, I feel like anybody who's even remotely connected to the internet has had a threat. Not that that's anything to mess with or, you know, to ignore, but Netflix is a huge, huge company. Anybody who's going to be doing a comedy special on a Netflix, I mean, they're going to get something. Here's the way I likened it, right? So, back in the day, when they would say, video games cause people to hurt people, I would say, you would never say that about a game like Monopoly, right? You just wouldn't say, you would say that's a ridiculous assertion. Monopoly doesn't cause people to harm other people. But people, for some reason, think something like Grand Theft Auto will make people go out and commit Grand Theft Auto. It just, in my view, it just doesn't happen. People who are unstable enough to mimic a video game are unstable enough to basically justify that for any reason. So I think the same thing's true with a joke, right? If you tell a joke and you get some backlash for it, assuming it's not some kind of racist joke or whatever, I don't know what it was. You might get some wackadoo making a threat via email or whatever, but that's no reason to completely, alter your behavior. I mean, there's like no reason. You just ignore it unless there's a very credible threat, and then you might have to do something about it. So, it's just weak-willed people, I think, immediately capitulate to this. Clooney gives update on Ocean's 14, hints at age-focused plot. Yeah, well, I mean, you guys are all old now. And I, for one, am sick of the Ocean's 11's remakes, but you do you, George Clooney. Who cares? Thought you were pretty much done, quite frankly. But I guess somebody needs a new mansion by the sea. Over at the Wrap, more on Project Hail Mary. What's new on HBO Max in April? All right, let's look at that. Indie Phantom, will Disney be saved by AI? I can't say it. No, I don't think any of these studios will be saved by AI. Because the talent will leave and use AI on their own. That's what I'm going to do. As soon as AI is up enough that I can make a Pineys movie, I'm going to do it. Now, right now, my computer's about to die, so I'm not doing it anytime soon, but, maybe in the next 3 or 4 years, the technology gets as such that I can use it, make a movie, put music and actors all over the place, running around in the pines, follow the plot of my book, and do some editing and tweaking. Yeah, I'll put it out. And then I could put it out for I don't know $5 or $10 on YouTube or something, right, Joe? Do you want to get down? Are you going to be good if I put you down? Here you go. No idea what she wants. Indie Phantom. Clooney is not a movie star. Quentin Tarantino. Indie Phantom. Sweeney does become a smoke show cam girl, so we'll watch those Euphoria scenes for sure. She is a smoke show, isn't she? What's new on HBO Max in April 2026? Oh my goodness, a lot of things. I can't go through all these, but let's see. Oh, there's not that many. Okay. Let's go through them. A Big Hand for a Little Lady. Abbott and Costello meet Captain Kidd. Is that real? I don't remember that movie. Is this a real thing, or is this some kind of remake? Captain... It's got to be a joke, right? Hold on. I think I messed it up. Oh, it was a real movie. I don't remember this one at all. Abbott and Costello meet Captain Kidd. Okay. Crazy. Alien vs. Predator extended cut. For those of you who couldn't get enough of the regular Alien vs. Predator. Regular Alien. And then not Alien 2, but Alien 3. That kind of sucks. Indie Phantom. Sounds real. Yeah, I was a big Abbott and Costello fan. I absolutely do not remember the one versus with Captain Kidd. Then Alien 3, the Assembly Cut. What does that mean? Alien Resurrection Special Edition. Who wants these? Alien vs. Predator Requiem Extended Cut. Alien Director's Cut. Aliens. Oh, there it is. Just because it wasn't Alien 2. All right. Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. Aliens Director Cut. Abbott and Costello and Hollywood. AVP, Alien vs. Predator. Blood on the Moon, which sounds like an Alien vs. Predator movie. Cabin in the Sky, Captain Horatio Hornblower. Carson City. Some of these movies are old. Dallas, Deeply, Season 1, 2, and 3. Evil Lives Here, The Child Killer, Season 1. That sounds terrible. Who the hell wants to see that? Indie Phantom. I love those Abbott and Costello flicks. In elementary school, our principal screened movies for us every Friday afternoon. And some of the most popular were 16mm prints of A&C. Oh, wow. Sounds like a cool dude. Fort Dobbs, Fort Worth, Gunsmoke, and Tucson. Inuho, Man from the Black Hills, Maze Runner, The Death Cure. No, thank you. Mortal Kombat Legends, Battle of the Realms, Cage Match, Scorpion's Revenge, and Snowblind. On Moonlight Bay, Out of the Past, Practical Magic, Rachel and the Stranger. Rancho Notorious. Renovation Aloha Season 3, A Riding Shotgun, Rocky Mountain, Roughshod, San Antonio, Santa Fe Trail, Shootout at Medicine Bend, Springfield Rifle, Tall in the Saddle, Tall Man Riding, The Bounty Hunter, The Boy and the Beast, The Devil Wears Prada,
The Family, The Flame and the Arrow, The Hole in the Ground, The Left-Handed Gun, The Man Behind the Gun, The Man with a Cloak, The Mummy, 1999, The Mummy Returns, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. These all should do good because the sequel's coming, and the sequel to The Devil Wears Prada's coming out. The Naked Spur, The Oklahoman, The St. Louis Kid, They Died with Their Boots On, Thunder Over the Plains, Twister, Wagons West, Welcome to Plathville Season 8, Westward, The Women, and Wichita. I wonder if they're playing more Westerns because of the success of Taylor Sheridan's shows. Indie Phantom, our principal was awesome, beloved. He eventually became the mayor of the city and died very young from a heart attack at 47. Oh, that's terrible. Sorry to hear that. Available April 2nd, Body Bazaar Season 8, Expedition Files Season 4. Available April 3rd, Alien Romulus Dream Stage Season 1. April 4th, Game Night. April 5th, Teen Titans Go Season 9G from the Cartoon Network. April 7th, Tropic Like It's Hot Season 1. April 9th, Hack Season 5. The World's Tallest Man Season 1. April 10th, Artemis 2 to the Moon and Back. Christie, House Hunters International Volume 9. Season 208. Jesus. April 12th, Be My Guest with Ina Garden Season 7. So many seasons. Building Back America's Trade Season 1. That sounds new. Euphoria Season 3, April 13th. Boy Band Confidential, a Hollywood Demons event. Season 1. That's weird. Smiling Friends Season 3B. Oh, there's going to be more? I love that show. I love that show. April 14th, Rock the Block Season 7, The Dark Wizard, HBO original. April 15th, Nanny McPhee returns, World's Bargain Dream Homes Season 1. April 16th, One Day in My Body Season 1. April 17th, Dust Bunny Lionsgate. That movie sounded, a lot of people said it would, the director's very interesting for that. And he does a lot of surreal movies over in Europe. House Hunters Volume 11, Season 253. Jesus. April 18th, Bell Collective Season 7, Crypto Saves the Day, Coastal Catastrophe. April 20th, Impractical Jokers Season 12B. Oh my goodness, they're still around? April 21st, Hollywood Demons Season 2, No Hard Feelings. I like that movie. Full Frontal from Jennifer Lawrence. April 22nd, Jeff Dunham's The Cars That Drove Us Season 1. 23rd, Half Man, HBO original. 24th, 48 Hours Escape from Chernobyl. HGTV Smart Home 2026. House Hunters International Volume 9, Season 209. Marty Supreme. Ugh. Indie Phantom, my birthday is coming on April 22nd. Congratulations. It's the big 56. Do something nice for yourself. April 25th, Confessions of a Nazi Spy, The Mouthpiece, Stranger on the Third Floor, to the 27th, 24 and 24, Last Chef Standing Season 3, and Standoff the FBI, Power and Paranoia, Season 1 from CNN. Indie Phantom, No Hard Feelings gives hard feelings. It's 2/3 of a really funny movie, and then it kind of peters out at the end, so to speak. But Jennifer Lawrence is fully nude. Cosmic Book News. James Gunn could be out at DC before Man of Tomorrow as Snyderverse return continues. Go ahead. Bring him back. I mean, I don't know why you would. But that seems to be in the head of the Saudi investors who backed Skydance to get Warner Brothers. So, I mean, I guess we'll get a bunch of beautiful looking Supermans that make no sense. Indie Phantom, I will get some deep dish steak and pepperoni pizza on my birthday and some carrot cake probably. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Nice. That sounds almost as good as sushi on your birthday. Forgotten Island trailer unveils DreamWorks mythology-fueled fantasy. That sounds like something new. Are they finally doing something new? Indie Phantom, James Gunn. There's a guy I'm sick of. Oh, couldn't be more sick of him. WonderCon this weekend brings Felicia Day, Scott Snyder, and a packed comics-focused schedule. A little late to start focusing on comics, but whatever. The End of Oak Street trailer released for J.J. Abrams' sci-fi mystery. It's not much of a mystery. I saw the teaser. Basically, an entire neighborhood gets sent back to the dinosaur age for reasons I assume are never really fully explained in the movie. It's just an excuse to make the movie because J.J. Abrams and his mystery boxes. Oh my God, we're in dinosaur times. What do we do? Run! Oh wait, I gotta figure this out. Oh, it stopped right here. Run! That's the whole movie. I'm guessing. Indie Phantom. Not sure I've ever seen a director self-promote more with so little justification. I'm not even mad at the self-promotion. What I'm mad at James Gunn is he picked a fight. Every time some clown got on the internet and said, "Oh, I think the Superman movie sucks," or whatever, he had to step in and say, "No, here's why you're wrong." It was just too much. He doesn't have to defend it at every freaking turn. Not on the internet. It's an endless job. It's a thankless job. It's impossible. What he needed to do, he needed less internet promotion and more, I don't know, anticipation or something, right? I don't know. The part of the problem is now we've seen the real James Gunn, and the real James Gunn has interviews where he says, "Oh yeah, I love race swapping white superhero characters because that's 95% of the time you have to do that because they're all white and blah blah blah." It's who the F wanted this guy in charge? This is the way you're talking? Is this because you got canceled and now you have to overcompensate? Nobody wanted you to do this. What we wanted was very simple. We wanted you to take the comics and make them into movies. That's it. That's it. No more, no less. Pick the good comics and turn them into movies. That's it. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Superman comics. Many hundreds of them are good. You just needed to pick one of the good stories and just do that. That's it. It would be great. How great would it be if one of these clowns in Hollywood said, instead of doing a new movie, I found this run on Superman. It's a whole story. And I'm going to do this story. I'm going to adapt it for the movies exactly the way it went in the comic. It was very popular. And then I'm going to credit the artists and writers who did that. They're going to get some money. We're going to go on interviews together. We're going to see their story brought to life. I mean, how great would it be? Everybody would love it. Everybody. There would be no downside whatsoever. None. So you get one of these old comic guys. You take him out of his nursing home. You give him $100,000 or $200,000 or whatever. He's overjoyed to be being interviewed again, being remembered. Everybody thinks you're a great guy for adapting his wonderful story. The story's already there. It's great. You don't even have to. You just need a screenwriter to adapt it. Maybe change a couple things. Nothing crazy. It's so simple. It's so simple. But Hollywood is just ego run amok. That's all it is now. Everybody in Hollywood has a tremendous ego. Nobody wants to support anybody else. No one. I would say Ryan Gosling is the only guy I could say maybe is willing to take a back seat in order to gain something by it. So if you watch him, I was just watching a clip from The Good Guys where Russell Crowe beats the hell out of him. It's a great scene. Now, Ryan Gosling is the leading man. Russell Crowe was a leading man, but now he's fat and he's older. Ryan Gosling could have thrown his weight around. He could have said, "I don't want Russell Crowe to beat me up in the scene. I want to get the better of him." I mean, he could have done that. He could have pulled rank. He probably would have gotten his way too. But that's what you do. You don't want to be on top in every scene and every time. You got to be supportive sometimes. That's what actors learn And but when you have all these egos running amok in Hollywood, nobody wants to be subservient to anybody else. No one. Not for any reason whatsoever. I think. So, I think it's part of the reason these projects become terrible. Indie Phantom, I need to watch the new guys again. It's like a decade old now. The Good Guys, I think it's called. They're talking. There was talk of a sequel. It's a really good flick. Shane Black, I love him. Harry Potter trailer sparks viral Black Snape AI video and memes. If you haven't seen them, they're pretty funny. This is another very unnecessary, stupid move on the part of the people who make Harry Potter. Not only did they race swap the character in HBO's Harry Potter, the number one character, you probably could have race swapped Harry Potter and gotten less backlash. That's how stupid it is to race swap Snape. It's so stupid. He is a key component of the epic storyline that is in Harry Potter. And I know, and I'm not even a Harry Potter fan, but I've heard this from all the videos I've watched about it. Part of the deal is Snape was in love with Harry Potter's mother. And Harry Potter's dad, when they were both in school, picked on Snape. And then he ended up with the mother, and then they had Harry. But now that Snape is black, assuming they keep Harry Potter's dad white, which I think they are, now it's going to look like a racial thing, which I'm sure they're going to exploit in the show. Like 100% they're going to exploit it, which doesn't make any sense. Like, why did you add this element? But apparently J.K. Rowling signed off on it, so you should blame her. Because my understanding is she had casting control. But her one sort of caveat was everybody cast had to be English. So he might still be English, but he definitely shouldn't be black. Not for this role. You probably could have done that in... You could probably recast Hagrid as black, or Dumbledore. Pretty much any other character in the show probably could have been black. I thought Hermione was... I thought she was Latina or something, or black, but I'm not sure. Maybe they chickened out on that. I thought I had heard an article about that. While I was watching it, I couldn't tell from the lighting. Looked like, oh, is she like black or half black or whatever? But like this guy, I'm sure he's a fine actor, but he's just wrong for the role. And they're already making fun of the show, and the show is so it's not airing until Christmas. Already, they're making fun of the show. More data on Avengers Doomsday, if you care. The rumor is they have no script. They have no script, and they're working on it on the set. And let me tell you from personal experience, that's a friggin' disaster. Now, according to Doomcock and others, the Russo brothers did this with Infinity War and Endgame. But I would say you can't really count Endgame, because Endgame is just a series of vignettes where every character is having their, like, you know, bow out. And they had at least an outline of how it was going to end. They would have had to. But for Infinity War kind of is the not as good Avengers movie, right? Like, at all the real Avengers movies, that one's like on the bottom, I think, for most people. Like, Civil War's amazing. Like, that one's top notch. And I really like Endgame. I like the first one. But Doomsday sounds like it's going to be a disaster, because you've got 60 characters in this thing, they say. 60. You're going to have the old X-Men characters. They don't know any of the characters from the MCU, so they all have to be introduced to each other. The Fantastic Four is in a different universe. Right? So they're coming. They have to be introduced. You know, this all could have been avoided by just following the comics, but they didn't. So this is what they're trying to do. Doctor Doom has to be introduced. And he's like the central nexus point of the entire thing. Although he was introduced in Fantastic Four, I guess, but who the hell saw that? You have characters from over, I don't know, 30 years of movies, and you're going to bring them all in. They have their own sort of deal. You know, you could say, well, they're all comic book characters that we all know, right? But they have their own deal within the movies, and that deal is the important part that's going to be part of the plot, I assume. So why couldn't you get a screenwriter to work on this thing? Why couldn't you just follow a screenplay when you're talking about 60 characters? You know, some guys just coming back, like, you know, Marsden coming back to be Cyclops one last time. The rumor is Wolverine's not in it. Okay. You're gonna have X-Men, but not Wolverine. All right, that's a bold shot. That's a bold choice, Cotton. Let's see if it pans out. You know, what about all the X-Men from the other X-Men movies? You're gonna bring them in. You're gonna bring in what's the name? The redhead from Game of Thrones who played Phoenix in the other movie. Is she gonna be in this thing? You're going to bring in McCoy as, you know, you're going to have Picard as Dr. X, right? Or Professor X. And then to tell me you're going to somehow reboot all this. you're going to hit the reset button at the end of all this. Not this movie, but probably the next movie. And then what? We're going to get, now we're supposedly get Giancarlo Esposito as Professor X and a bunch of race swap characters. I don't see how you're pulling this off. I really don't, but I look forward to the nerd discussion about it. I don't look forward to the movies because I'm not paying for this. I'm totally not paying for this. Do you know what song and dance you'd have to do to get me to pay for this? Jesse, I was supposed to ask, was the last Hail Mary actually good? Do you mean Project? I assume you mean Project Hail Mary. Everybody's saying it's great. So, my guess is it's pretty great. My friend who hasn't seen a movie in a long time, he's an actor. We've worked together on a few things. He calls me up, or he texts me, you know, he just texts me out of the blue. What the F's up with this Project Hail Mary? Is this any good, or is this some more BS? And he curses like a sailor. So he's like cursing in his text, like, what is this stupid effing movie about? I don't know what this is about. Because apparently he was at the movies, he was about to go see something. And then I shot back to him. I heard everybody's telling me it's a great movie. All signs point to yes. And he called me up, and then he's like, are you sure? Is this movie good? You're telling me this is good? He's like, what is it about? And I told him it was about. He's like, I don't know. So then he went to go see it with his brother, and he calls me after, which he often does when he goes to see a movie. And he says, you have to see this movie. So that's a pretty strong endorsement. He is a very reluctant audience these days. Jesse, my bad. I don't watch much movies these days. My brother is going to watch it, so I said, why not go and relax? Yeah, I hear it's great. I hear it's great. Yeah, so my friend is a tough audience. I mean, he went to Juilliard, so he's, man, if the acting's bad, he can't stand it, man. He goes nuts. And I have another friend who's a cinematographer. If the cinematography's bad, he does the same thing. Like, but my cinematographer friend, as far as I know, hasn't seen it, but my actor friend has seen it, and he said he raved about it. So I am psyched to see it. I think I'm gonna wait though when it comes on stream. Hamash Patel joins Ryan Coogler's X-Files reboot opposite Danielle Deadweiler. So the deal with this is he is doing new characters, which I fully endorse because I don't think he should reboot Mulder and Scully. I think that would be a disaster. I think he would get the same sort of pushback that Snape is getting, right? But because he's doing new characters, it always opens the door to bringing back the old characters and saying, oh, this is how they all tie in, right? So this is a new crop of characters who, for whatever reason, take over the X-Files office, and then hopefully he's not going to just redo all the other shows, that he's going to do all new episodes. I would like to see that. Assuming he does a bunch of new episodes with new, new X-Files type one episode deals, I think that could be good. I mean, Coogler's not the worst director I've ever seen. Indie Phantom, I am in no rush to see it. Ironically, I hate crowded theaters even more. LOL. Yeah, I mean, it should die down in a couple of weeks, but I think it's going to be in movie theaters for another 2 months, easy, because it's doing very, very well. But, yeah, I want to see Project Hail Mary. I don't think I'm going to go to the theaters unless I really would have to have some time and a real hankering for movie theaters. I just don't. I do have a window of opportunity on the 18th and 19th maybe of April, but because I just don't have anything going on that weekend. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll give movies a chance again. You know what I have to do? I have to get up off my ass and go to a matinee, so at least I don't pay through the nose. All right, moving on to That Park Place. Project Hail Mary author claims modern Star Trek shows are S. Yes, I agree. Jack Black says Donald Glover campaigned for the role of Yoshi. Yes, we know. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake planned for Switch 2, release date 2026. Okay. Dollywood Monopoly game lets fans take home a piece of the park. Neat. Dollywood Monopoly. I was trying to go into my Christopher Walken, but I couldn't make it work. I need another drink. Good for you, Dolly. I like Dolly. I mean, I wouldn't buy it, but I'm sure there's plenty of fans out there that would buy a Dollywood version of it. Over at Geeks and Gamers, what's going on here? Same old, same old. Before playing Nami on One Piece, Emily Rudd was a real Disney princess at Disneyland. Okay, makes sense. That's what actors do. So, nothing really going on here. Let's go over to Breitbart. San Antonio socialists hit streets for another No Kings rally. Okay. Bunch of retards. Oh, you can get back into Iran now if you want. Don't care. No Kings rally is one of the most embarrassing things. I'm so embarrassed. Like, the longer I live, the more I see things that I used to like and do as a complete embarrassment to the humanity. I used to go to anti-war protests, and now I would, never admit that in a crowded room. I mean, that was, during the Bush era, but still. Jesse, I just watched the Project Hail Mary trailer, and you know what? It does look pretty good. Yeah, everybody's raving about it, so I think you're pretty safe if you're looking for a movie to watch. Lindsey Graham seen at Disney World as DHS shutdown continues and Iran war rages. Lindsey Graham is the worst. I don't know how this guy stays in office, but he must have some pictures of, everybody in Washington, D.C. Certainly everybody in South Carolina, where he's from. Iranian Christian refugee. IRGC must be destroyed to secure peace. Trump, first president to clearly see the threat of the Ayatollahs. I don't know about that. Plenty of presidents have made at least lip service to it. Bishop, U.S. Catholic conversions are increasing as people are hungry for truth. I don't know about that. Antonio Banderas says Hollywood execs told him Hispanics, blacks, can only play bad guys. when? Was that like 1972, dude? Come on. Like, we have this situation in which every character in Hollywood's being race swapped, and yet you thought it was a good idea to have this interview where you're like, oh yeah, everybody was racist towards me. Dude, you're Antonio Banderas. This is your time, dude. This is your time to come out and say, hey, I want to do an all Hispanic, I don't know, Lord of the Rings or whatever the hell you want to do. It's a time, dude. You got a name. Go do it. I wouldn't begrudge it, but don't pretend like, look, I'm sure there's some racist guys out there. I'm sure there's some casting people who said, well, this is what's going on at the time, depending on what time period you're talking about. But my God, dude, you're Antonio Banderas. How much are you worth? Let's see how much Antonio Banderas is worth. Place your bets. Antonio Banderas. I'm going to say $50 million. $50 million. Anybody with $50 million should shut the F up. Shut the F up. Shut the F up, please. Just shut the F up. Indie Phantom. Banderas. LOL. Didn't he play the hero in Desperado basically when he broke into Hollywoke? Yeah. He was a huge draw for a while. Leading man. Co-starring with Sylvester Stallone. He's got $50 million. But, oh, don't worry. He's going to complain, everybody. Let's complain. North Carolina youth group hosted abortion doula trainings for 14-year-olds. Jesus H. Christmas. What the hell is going on in North Carolina? What the hell is an abortion doula? That sounds horrific. Again, I'm not 100% against abortion, okay? Like, I'm not some, religious dude. But Jesus Christmas. These Democrats have lost their damn minds. Oh, we have to have abortions at every second of every day or else someone's being oppressed. Go F yourself, you barbaric asshats. Jesse, what the hell? What the hell indeed, Jesse? What the hell indeed? Woman awarded $14 million after eating ice cream contaminated with metal shards and nails. Yeah, she deserves every penny of it because she can't have children now. That's awful. That is just the worst thing ever. It's so terrible for her. I feel bad. She probably should get more money. 2 Texas cops charged through burning motel and save guest. Wow. Bravo. All right, let's wrap up on the New York Post and get angry about politics. Church and state. Israel bars Catholic officials from praying at holy site on Palm Sunday, outraging U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee. Yeah, I guess, but don't you have Iran bombing the place? I mean, aren't they worried about the safety of the people? I mean, maybe it was a safety concern. I don't know. But seems like a dumb idea. Looks-maxing influencer Clavacular arrested for allegedly instigating a viral catfight between girlfriend and another woman. Oh, I thought this was he shot an alligator, I think, in in Louisiana. I think it's a felony. Guys all over the place. What is this? Cop bashes teen baseball player in the head with a taser in front of crowd. What the F's wrong with you? Don't know why he's going after him. That seems a bit extreme. Ukraine surge has Russia reeling. Don't give in to Putin now. Jesus, when is this going to end? The one thing I definitely think we should do is pull the F out of Ukraine and never look back. Sophie Turner's Lara Croft reboot shut down temporarily due to injury. Damn it. Damn it, I thought they were going to shut down the whole show. Now, here's another typical Hollywood thing. Sophie Turner worked out. She's ripped. She's absolutely ripped, right? She's probably in the best shape of her life. She's young. She's pretty hot. And here's how they dress her. Lara Croft. No tummy, nothing. They put her in full tactical gear so you can't see nothing. This woman's in amazing shape. That's the whole reason to watch the damn show. It's the whole reason to do anything with Lara Croft. Because she was hot. That's it. Let's hide her boobs as much as possible, everybody. Oh boy, looks amazing. Yeah, oh boy. Oh, look at her fight. Yeah, look at the boobs, completely covered up by a bulletproof vest or something. Yeah, that's what fans wanted from Lara Croft. Why don't you put her in a cloak and then put a burqa over that? You idiots. You freaking idiots. Do you know what a gasket I would blow if I was a Hollywood executive on the set of this show? Jesus, HR would be calling me the very next day. But what the F? I'd lose my damn mind. I'd be like calling the director over. What the F? Get the costume people over here. Get a bikini top and a miniskirt for this woman and get rid of all the other stuff. It doesn't make any sense for the show. The show makes no sense already. It's Lara Croft. That's all. The show never made any sense. It was not even a show. It's a video game. The whole point of hiring this woman was to watch her boobs go up and down while she's fighting monsters in, I don't know, temples or whatever. Like Indiana Jones, only hot. Indy Phantom. I think Lara Croft is a movie fail. Hasn't worked, in my opinion. Oh, I agree, but if you're gonna do it, Sophie Turner worked out. She looks amazing. That's how they dress her. That's how they dressed her. Unreal. It's just unreal. Rough seas. Cruise ship worker unknowingly ruins couple's engagement. Carnival owes you an engagement cruise. Okay. What did he come to? I guess he came in too early with the cake. Five Guys CEO says he paid out $1.5 million bonus to staff so he wouldn't get shot. Jesus. So he wouldn't get shot in the back like the United Healthcare boss. Oh, Jesus, dude. Talk about burying the lead. You shouldn't say that stuff, dude. You shouldn't say that stuff. I mean, it's good you paid out your workers. Good for you, but don't say that stuff. A bad mojo. Raw cheese sold at Celeb Fave grocery store recalled, but farmer is fighting back. Okay. Good luck to the farmer. Always support the farmers. They make the food. Vanessa Trump issues fierce ultimatum to boyfriend Tiger Woods after shocking DUI arrest. He had no alcohol in his system, according to the test. Maybe he was on something else, but... Oil Air ordered to pay historic $1.1 billion after brutally attacking toddler stepson, putting him in a wheelchair. Jesus H. Christmas, what a monster. Put this man in prison and leave him there until the prison disintegrates. AI chatbots are prone to frequent fawning and flattery and are giving users bad advice. Yeah, we know. We know from all the horrific reports of teenagers deleting themselves after hanging out with their AI buddy. This poor UFC fighter got knocked out and then choked out. That doesn't seem healthy. This is not a filter. This is the actual skies in Australia as a cyclone moved in and kicked up the red dust that turned everything red. Isn't that freaky? That's freaky as F. Imagine walking outside and seeing this in Australia. You must be like freaking out. And then you realize, oh, wait, I'm in Australia. Everything here is freaky and trying to kill me, including its government. As bad as you Canucks have it, I think the Australians have it worse in some respects. 35 U.S. troops, 3,500 U.S. troops arrive in Middle East on USS Tripoli as Iran issues threat against ground invasion. Semper Fi, guys, but I hope this is all an elaborate bluff. I hope you don't go anywhere. I hope the Iranians fold soon. Bordazar reveals when TSA will start getting paid again following Trump's EO. Yeah, stay out of airports in the States. Politico yanks anti-Semitic cartoon of blood-covered Trump and Netanyahu. All right. I think we're just about to wrap up here. Howie Mandel apologizes for heated exchange on air with Kelly Ripa. Don't care. Some sports stuff. Here's the No Kings protesters, including someone in a wheelchair that looks like an extra from a disabled Mad Max movie. Very strange. Oh, Mad Max, you made the same joke headline, and I stole it from you. I apologize. I can't imagine doing this. You know, when I went to an anti-war protest, we were concerned about war. Not making a mockery of humanity. Barbie Dreamfest criticized by outraged attendees. Who was in charge of this? Yeah, it doesn't look like much of a dream. Doesn't look like many people showed up. Flight attendant ejected during LGA crash. Seen in hospital for first time as daughter describes horrific injuries. My God. Well, thankfully she survived. Good for you. I hope you make a full recovery. Jesus. Indie Phantom. Howie ripped into Ripa for some headlines and no clear reason. Probably. Serial cat killer on the loose as dozens of animals found dead. Oh, I don't like that. Let's see. Oh my God. What are you doing? Reporter gets suplexed by pro wrestler in wild live TV moment, like being thrown off a skyscraper. It seems kind of dangerous. She could have broken her neck. And escaped capybara, largest rodent in the world, becomes social media sensation. They're making memes of this escaped animal. He could be in a lot of trouble. But here, we'll end on these, so to speak. This is an AI porn star, apparently. Adult content creator Brody Jean Tyra has an AI twin through... Oh, okay. So I guess this is her, but only done by AI. Her AI clone is seen above. Ah. All right, so it's not completely fake, but kind of fake. I know of at least one person who's doing something very similar. And that's what it's going to be. I mean, prawn, as they say on the interwebs, is going to be all fake. It's going to be all fake, 100% of it. You're not going to have any women doing this. You're just going to have sweaty guys with their computers telling the AI, make the boobs bigger. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Making prawn. Imagine making your own prawn company. It's like printing money for a while, I got to imagine. But eventually I would think it's all going to peter out because there'll just be so much of it. Eventually I guess you just ask the AI, I need some prawn, please. And then you could just get custom prawn, I guess. But, yeah, it looks good. I'll say that. It looks good. Then you could do stuff like this. Have the character run around naked or nearly naked in Times Square. Is that? It looks like Times Square. Her nose is weird, though. I gotta say, is that the same nose in the... Yeah, same nose in the AI picture. Got an odd look kind of nose. Indie Phantom, I wouldn't want to see my own prawn. Well, but you wouldn't ask for you. I'm saying you would ask for, you know, the hot chick, custom made that you would want, I would assume. You know, if you like blondes, you'd ask for a blonde. If you ask redhead, you ask for a redhead, whatever. In whatever scenario. I mean, there's so much prawn on the internet already. I assume the AI could just be trained on that and then voila. But, yeah, it's a strange world, getting stranger every day. All right, I'm going to wrap a little early tonight just because I don't want the system to go down on me again in the middle of this. I'm not sure when I'm going to get a new computer. It's hopefully going to be after I get book 20 up and running. So there's that. So I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Sorry for the confusion. What have we learned today? Well, we learned that movies still are in big trouble. Absolute Batman's doing okay. You know, for a comic in this era, I guess. What else did we learn? Antonio Banderas is worth $50 million, but he still has room to complain. Diablo Cody, probably the kiss of death. Probably the kiss of death on everything she touches and does. Yeah, and that's about it. What's coming up for me? I'll be back to River Road Clam House on Friday because it's Fresh Fish Friday, and it might even be Good Friday on the 3rd. When is Good Friday? Let me ask the computer. Oh, crap. When is Good Friday? When is Good Friday? 2026. April 3rd. Okay, so Good Friday, I'm going to be in the best place ever. I'm going to be at River Road Clam House, a seafood market right in the middle of the Pine Barrens. And I'm told by the owners there'll be a line out the door. So they'll be there for seafood, but I'll get a chance to sell them the Pineys. And I did pretty good on, when did I go? Saturday. So they're like, oh, come back on Friday. You'll do much better. And I was like, okay. So I'll be doing that. And then Saturday, I'm going to South Jersey Geek Fest from 10 to 5. And that's usually pretty good for me. So I should be just about out of books by then, which would be awesome. Because I need a little cashola to get a new computer. And then Easter is on Sunday. So I will be at Easter brunch with the fam and the girlfriend. It's going to be a good time. So I'm looking forward to this weekend and this week. I hope you have your own festivities to go to. And so I want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope the computer continues to stay stable enough so I can make the rest of my videos tonight. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Do, 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 do.